Hello, boys and girls. I hope everybody is doing well. This first set of notes is going to be for comparing probabilities and making predictions with probability. These are the same notes that I've posted already. However, I'm going to go through each slide and explain each specific example. So in the first example, it says, I am Pat, Good Legs Lance, and Colorado Bronze are horses in a horse race. Their probabilities of winning the race are as follows. So as you can see, I am Pat says 3/10, Good Legs Lance says 0.6, and Colorado Bronze wins by 10%. As you all know, I prefer working with decimals over fractions. So I took all of mine and converted them to decimals first. So 3/10 would be 0.3 or 0.30 or 30% if you convert it to a percentage. 0.6 is already in decimal format, which would be equivalent to 60%. And then Colorado Bronze is 10%. So clearly, the least likely is going to be Colorado Bronze, which is why there was a 1 above it. Next likely would be I am Pat, which would be number 2. And then most likely would be the 60% Good Legs Lance, which is number 3. Okay, next slide. Gustavo is the league's home run leader. The probabilities for his total number of home runs for the season are as follows. And again, we have the total number of home runs and then the probability of it happening. So for 0 to 19 home runs, you have 1/4, which we should all know is 0.25 or 25%. The probability of 20 to 39 home runs is 45%, which would be 0.45. And then the probability of 40 plus home runs is 0.3, which if you scoop your decimal 2 places to the right to make it a percentage, we get 30%. And now we're just ordering them from least likely to most likely. So clearly the least likely is the 25%, which is 0 to 19 home runs, which is number 1. Next would be 40 plus home runs, which is 30%. That would be 2. And then the last one would be 20 to 39 home runs, which is 45%, which is 3. Okay. This one says Simone is stranded on an island. The probability for finding safety by waiting for help is 1/4. The probability of her finding safety by leaving in her raft is 0.32. So 1/4 we know is 0.25, which is less likely than leaving in a raft, which is 0.32. So clearly leaving in the raft is the most likely to happen, which is answer choice B. Okay, moving on to a few examples from making predictions with probability. Now there's a lot of writing on this slide, so let's take some time going through it. It says, Michaela has an MP3 player called the Jumble. The Jumble randomly selects a song for the user to listen to. Michaela's Jumble has 4 techno songs, 2 country songs, and 3 jazz songs. Michaela plans to listen to 270 songs. So the first thing you need to do is count how many songs are on her Jumble. She's got 4 techno, 2 country, and 3 jazz, which if you add those together, you have 9 total songs on her Jumble. In order to find out the best prediction, you can just set up a proportion. So you'll notice that I have my keywords there, country songs over total songs. So on her Jumble currently, she has 2 country songs out of 9 total songs, which is my first ratio in the proportion. And that's going to equal X, because that's what we're trying to find out, how many out of 270 total songs. And now we're just solving it like solving the proportion like we would normally. So 9 times X equals 9X. 2 times 270 equals 540. And then you need to divide both sides by 9 to get your variable by itself, leaving you with X equals 60. Now, if you're making a prediction, obviously it's not going to be exact because you're just predicting. So right away we can eliminate the first answer choice and the third answer choice. So the correct answer here would be B, close to 60 country songs, but probably not exactly 60 country songs. Notice on the bottom I have that little note. If you are making a prediction, you are estimating, therefore your answer won't be exact. All right, let's try another one of these. Elizabeth is going to roll a fair six-sided die 600 times. It says complete the following statement with the best prediction that Elizabeth will roll an even number. Well, if you think of a number cube, how many even numbers are there? You have 2, 4, and 6. So you have 3 out of 6 outcomes on your number cube, but we want to know how many times you get an even number when you roll 600 times. Well, you can think logically. 3 out of 6 simplifies to 1/2. So if half the time you're going to get an even number, that means 300 times you'll get an even number. Or you can set it up like a proportion, like I have here. 3 over 6 equals x over 600. Find your cross products. 6 times x equals 6x. And 3 times 600 equals 1800, leaving you with x equals 300. Again, we're just making a prediction, so therefore we can eliminate the first answer choice and the third answer choice because there's no way we can predict the exact amount. However, answer choice D would be the correct one, close to 300 times, but probably not exactly 300 times. Okay, here's another example. It says Anna, Irina, Avel, and Vlad are going on a road trip. The following table shows an incomplete probability model for who will be driving during any given kilometer. If the road trip involves 640 kilometers of driving, which of the following is the best prediction for the number of kilometers that Avel will drive? As you can see, this is an incomplete probability model because next to Avel's name, you see a question mark. So the first thing you need to do here is figure out what is the probability for Avel. Well, we have 1/8 for Anna, 3/8 for Irina, and 1/8 for Vlad. If you add those 3 probabilities together, which you'll see on the bottom of the slide, you get 5/8. Now we should all know by now that probabilities always add up to 1 whole. So if the 3 of them equal 5/8, that means that Avel's missing probability must be 3/8, which 5/8 plus 3/8 then equals 8/8 or 1 whole. So now that we know the missing probability for Avel, we can go ahead and use the proportion method to solve this problem. So if Avel's probability is 3 out of 8, which is my first ratio, that's going to equal x out of 640 total kilometers rather. And then we're just solving it using our cross products. 8 times x equals 8x. 3 times 640 equals 1,920. And then we're dividing both sides by 8, leaving us with x equals 240 kilometers. So that does it for a few examples from those 2 sections. I would highly recommend that you do the problems in the note-taking packet for statistics and probability that I posted on Google Classroom. The pages of the note-taking packet that correlate to those 2 skills are pages 5 through 7, top of the page. And again, you also have the additional videos in Khan Academy if you want to see some more examples. Please feel free to ask any questions in the Google chat or in the Zoom session this week.